Right, folks, hope you're doing well. It's 5:10 on the 31st of July, 2020. It's a lot warmer today, so the fan's on. Sorry if that causes any noise for you. Puppies are feeding from mum right now, down here. They're a good feed. They're sleeping out in the kennel at the moment. I'm trying to get them outside as much as possible, and then when they wake up, I put them on stones to get them used to peeing on the stones. So hopefully, as they get a bit more confident, which they will do, they're going to start to pee on the stones all the time, which would be nice. They'll be learning that way, which is good. Okay. I was listening to a song the other day. I think it was a Phil Collins song. And part of the lyrics were, if you were drowning, I wouldn't help you. No, if you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. Yeah. I think it's In the Air Tonight. If you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. And I was thinking about that, thinking, well, yeah. That's the thing. You think about that from a Christian point of view, but you think about it also from a human point of view. Look at it from both points of view. The people that are paying the butt to you, if they were drowning and they reached out your hand, would you help them? In the situation you are right now, not in that situation, you'd say no. No, why would you? Someone who's a pain in the butt to you and in your life, and they were drowning, would you help them? No. You'd be rather insane to help them because that person has been a pain in the butt, has basically enjoyed being a pain in the butt, and will continue to just be a pain in the butt. They won't be anything other. I mean, if you think that you saving their life will change who they are, no. Probably won't. They'll probably still be a pain in the butt. So, from looking at it from a human point of view, you'd say, I'm sorry, I just walked past. Certainly a case that with a neighbour I'm not allowed to speak to because the boyfriend would cut my throat. If she was in big trouble and she called to me for help, I couldn't help her. I couldn't because I'm not allowed to speak to her, am I? I can't say anything to her. I can't ask her what's wrong because as soon as I do that, I'm in a situation that the boyfriend can, rightly, according to his own threat, cut my throat. He said if I speak to her ever again, he's going to cut my throat. Or cut my effing throat. So, and that was my only warning. I wouldn't be getting another warning. So clearly, yeah. If she was choking, would I lend a hand? No. I couldn't. According to his own threat, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't approach her. I couldn't try and help her. I couldn't try to ask her any questions to see what's going on. So I would just have to walk away. And there's no point ringing 999 and trying to get help that way because they ask you, what's the issue? Well, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't even know if there is an issue, actually. Is all you could say. If you can't talk to an individual to find out what's wrong, even though they might not be able to talk because they're choking, they can certainly indicate by nodding or shaking their head to your questions to find out what is wrong, what could have caused it. Is it something you ate? Is it a reaction to something you've touched? Yeah. Because if it's something you swallowed, then it can be dealt with by the Heimlich maneuver, clearly. If it's not something you swallowed, well, then it's a completely different situation. Yeah, and needs to be dealt with differently. You can't find out any of this, can you? So, you just have to let them die. That's the reality, of course. Let's put it now into the Christian perspective, because that's the human perspective. That's the human perspective. What's the Christian one? Well, generally speaking, don't know, never been in that situation. That's all I can say. Never been in that situation, so I wouldn't have the foggiest idea. What I do know is that all you can really go by is You pray, you ask God, what should I do? Should I get involved or not? If God doesn't say yes, you don't get involved. It may be that person's time. I mean, if God wants that person saved, if you're not going to do it, God will use someone else to do it. Simple. Or if He wants you to do it, He'll make it clear to you that He wants you to do it. That's the reality. But as I say, I've never been in that situation. Never. I mean, most of us have never been in the situation of having to make a decision to step in and save someone who is most likely only going to be a pain in the butt to us if we save them. I mean, on a personal level, it isn't quite similar to like saying, would you save Hitler? Because if you save Hitler, he's still going to kill all those people, isn't he? If he is, would you save him? But it's a different level, of course. Somebody being a pain in the butt to you and somebody killing hundreds of thousands of Jews is completely different. But the principle is still the same. Same principle. Would you save someone if you had the condition of understanding that they would change? Yes. What about if they wouldn't change? What would you do? What if there was no guarantee they would change? Would you still save them? That's a different thing completely, isn't it, really? The puppies have stopped feeding, and little Louis is wanting to show me he's got teeth. And he's currently biting my finger. So, yeah. One of them caught me a good one earlier in between the thumb and the whatever finger that's called. Well, it's not the index finger, the one next to the index finger, I believe it is. Right in that area in between. Caught me there with the new little baby teeth. That tinged. Just a tad. That tinged a bit. They're going to get a lot more of this as their teeth come through. They want to bite stuff. So I've put some toys in there in the kennel for them. So as their teeth start to develop, they've got things that they can chew, to help with their gums. So it's good. Louis. There's Frankie. Hello, Frankie. Little blue-eyed boy. Well, Frankie's got a white face. So you know when the pup has got at least white over the eye, that there's a very good chance one of the eyes is going to be blue. So Frankie was a good name. I had used that name previously on another pup, but the new owners changed the name to something else, so the name was still available. So I thought, right, there you go. This one can be Frankie. Hi. Is Frankie been a good boy? You been a good boy, Frankie? Hello, my baby. Hello, Frankie. How you doing? How you doing, Frankie? How you doing, my boy? How you doing? Oh, you got teeth as well, have you? Oh, Frankie, you got teeth as well. There you go, little Frankie. Oh, it's my boy. Here's a little Frankie. Hello, little Frankie. How you doing, puppy? It's quite funny with them because it's quite hot. When they're breathing, so it sounds as if they're panting quite heavy. For pups, that's a bit unusual. It is a bit warm today. It is. So there you go, little Frankie Bubs. How you doing? Your nails need cutting, don't they? Eh? Problem is, trying to cut their nails is tricky. I've learnt this from previous ones. You've got to wait until they're more or less asleep before you try and cut their nails because they will not keep their foot there. Because I use, at this age, nail clippers is the easiest option to cut their nails. When they're babies like this. Because their nails are quite soft, so you can cut them easier with nail clippers. But if they keep on moving their foot, you're more likely to cut into the flesh rather than just the nail. So, thankfully, the older dogs are okay with their nails being cut because I start early with them cutting their nails, so they get used to it. Right. Like Riley, for example. I had Riley from when he was a day old. So with him, because obviously he's Lucy and Chewie's pup, so he's from her last litter, and so he was a day old, well, a few hours old when I got him. And I got him on, and yeah, so with him, he's known me ever since that time. So in a way, our bond is probably stronger in some ways than the others because he's never had anyone else. Yeah, Mollie had original owners, so did Lucy, so did Chewie, so did Amber, but not Riley. So that's cool. Oh, that's pretty good. Anyhow, yeah, as I say about this issue of would you help that person? As I say, you don't know. You don't know. You like to think you wouldn't, but I think in reality you probably would. I think you probably would because a life is a life in the end. Yeah, would you let someone die knowing you could save them? Even if that person was going to be a pain in the ass to you? I don't think you would. It's an interesting thing to think of. I mean, we all have people who we can think of in that way. But I think in the end, you would do what you could. I think you would. You would always do what you could. You would try, at least to help them. And that's the right thing to do. That's why there's a difference between being a reasonable human and a psychopath. Yeah, a psychopath doesn't care about people. They could see someone in real trouble and just walk past them, not caring at all. The rest of us shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't be doing things in that way. Yeah, we should be trying to help. That's what we should be doing. But there you go. So hopefully we never get into that position. Hopefully we never do. If we do, that means that something bad has happened. And even if it's to someone we don't like, someone we have reason not to like, it doesn't mean we want bad things to happen. And that's the truth of the matter. It really, really is. That is the truth of the matter. Although, be honest, folks, how many people at this time where we've got the Rona have wished that people they don't like get the Rona in a bad way and die from it? I think that's going to be a common thing for people to be sort of, wishing upon people they don't like. I think it is. Because obviously that's something that's around now. And we know with older people and people who struggle with obesity, even though they say it's only morbid obesity, I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. There have been slimmer people that have died, and unhealthy lifestyle is as likely to kill someone as someone who is morbidly obese. And so anyone who is obese in any way, shape, or form has got an unhealthy lifestyle. So, yeah. But don't wish for that upon people, because in the end, they still have people that care for them who are going to mourn the loss. And you've still got NHS people that have got to deal with these situations, and it's incredibly tough for them. So, people can go in different ways. There's enough people that have died from the COVID. You should never wish that somebody dies from that. Let's say they go into hospital, they go into intensive care, and they pass. And there's all these doctors and nurses who have witnessed enough people dying. Certainly in certain parts of the world, in certain cities of the world, they've been inundated with death in the hospitals. So another person could be the one straw that breaks the camel's back. and one or two doctors or nurses. So don't make that someone you wish would die for, you know. Yeah, it's tough. Life is tough, and we do have to deal with situations with people that are a pain in the arse. That's the reality. It is. I did videos the other day talking about people. What's the word? I nearly had it in the brain. Consideration, showing consideration. Yeah, they want you to show consideration to them. Like, for example, when they're crossing the road, you as a driver, they want you to slow down and give them time to cross the road. But they don't want to speed up at all. At all. They just want to walk across the road as they normally would if there was no traffic there at all, even though they know that you've slowed down so they can cross. Now, to me, that is annoying at best. Yeah, these people are a pain in the bloody arse, to say the least. Same as when you take your dog for a walk and there's someone else coming with dogs, and you, for me, with Amber, because she can be a bit barky at other dogs, you know, I grab hold of her, pull the dogs aside, we go onto a different track while these people have gone through, if I can. And then they continue walking slowly, they stop. Now, earlier, I drove to the field, I backed in the car park, and there were people with dogs, and they were walking away, but then they stopped to talk. I said, excuse me, you don't know that you can walk and talk at the same time? I'm waiting to get the dogs out of the car. They've got to sit in the heat of a really, really hot day in the boot of a car waiting because you know I'm standing here. You see me standing here, you see the dogs in the boot of the car. You are taking your time. Again, if I just let my dogs out and I come over and bark at your dog, you wouldn't think that I was being very considerate, would you? So I'm being considerate, but then you're not. Ugh. That's what I say. People, that's what people are like. There are too many people that are like that, and I understand it. I said on my walk and talk the other day, I'm not sure if you watched the video on that one, but I said that I do understand it, that when you're in darkness, that quite often all you see is your existence. You don't see other people. And so it's easy to be not considerate to other people because you don't see them. Not really. What you see is you. You see what you need to do. That you are taking your dogs for a walk and you're playing with your dogs at that time, or you want to stop and talk to someone, or your dog wants to sniff, so you stop. You don't pull your dog because you know someone's waiting for you to move. You take your time, you do all that because it's about you. Your life is about you. It's not about other people. It's about you. Trying to be considerate to others is not an easy thing to do. Really is not an easy thing to do in any way, shape or form. It's highly tempting to be as inconsiderate as I can possibly blink and will be. Oh yeah. Really, really tempting. Because when other people are being inconsiderate, then in a way you just want to respond with, okay, you think that being inconsiderate is okay, so I'm going to be that to you. That's your version of this is a good way to be towards other people. So therefore you accept that this is a nice way to be to people, to be inconsiderate. So yeah, okay, I can do that. You know what? You know how quickly people that are inconsiderate are as soon as you are inconsiderate, to point out you being inconsiderate and how out of order that is. Oh my Lord. The hypocrisy of these people. So, wow. Incredible. They don't mind being inconsiderate, being a pain in the butt, or being whatever it is. But as soon as you be a bit inconsiderate towards them, oh my lord, they start kicking off big time. They don't like that in any way, shape, or form. They can't see that, this is their way of doing things. You're only doing things their way. That's what you're doing. You're saying, right, you want to be inconsiderate all the time. Okay. So I'll just do things your way. Oh my lord. It is interesting. It is interesting to see the utter hypocrisy of people when you turn their behavior against them. Oh my god, they don't like it at all. They live as if, they accept that way of doing things because that's the way they do things. But no, they don't. Oh no, they don't. They've got a different level of expectancy for others as they have for themselves. For themselves, they can be rude, they can be inconsiderate, they can be unfriendly. That's okay. But you try doing that to them. Oh, no, 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 no. How you behave to them is completely different to how they should behave to other people. As insane as that may be, that's the reality. You just got to put up with it, really. You just got to try and continue to be considerate to the best of your ability. Well, that's what it means about not being of the world. That as the Lord said time and time again, you are not of the world. In it, but not of it. He repeated that because it's so important. Say, yes, the world behaves in this way, but you're not of the world anymore. You're mine. Because you're mine, this is how you should behave. You should be loving towards the people that are hateful. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I mean, you can actually look at scripture and say, the Pharisees and the scribes and the Sadducees weren't very nice to the Lord in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't exactly very loving towards them, was he? Not really. No, 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 no. He pointed out their ways and how wrong their ways were in front of them. You know. Now, you know. So ah, but he did it for our benefit. That's that's the thing. Hi. You can't look at that and say that gives us an excuse because the Lord did that for our benefit, as to show us, this is the hypocrisy of them. Yeah. But he wasn't exactly using their hypocrisy back on them, was he? He wasn't being a hypocrite to them because they're being a hypocrite to him. So he wasn't doing tit for tat sort of thing. So even though he wasn't exactly being loving towards them in his response to them, it was a lot more loving than often we can be in our response to people. And that's the thing. We just got to learn. I mean, I know for me, I'm not a good people person in any way, shape, or form. Generally speaking, I don't like people. People are a massive pain in the butt. I mean, there's some decent people. There are some good people out there. I haven't met many of them, but I've met a few. In my life, I met a couple. Robin Williamson, nice fella. Peter Hodgson was a nice man. Leonard Gill was a lovely man. So I've met a few. And I think in many ways, I'm fortunate that I have actually met a few. There are a lot of people that haven't really met any. I think for most people, meeting one or two generally nice people is, a lot, really. That's about the max that most people get. But I want to meet more. That's why I say, if I ever get married to someone, that person would have to be an incredibly loving individual because, I've got to learn from them. A lot of their loving nature needs to rub off on me a bit. You know, that's just being honest. I haven't got that. I'm not overly bothered about it. That's cool. Um, do I love the church or the people in the church? Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah, that's why I want the church to be functioning better, so it can serve the born again Christians that are in it and serve them better and help them to live good Christian lives. Yeah, because it matters. When they go face to face with God, they need to have had an opportunity to have served God. Well, therefore, the church needs to function better for that to happen. So that's why I talk a lot about you must be guided by the Holy Spirit and about the church being put right, because I do care for the people who are in the church. I've had plenty of reason not to. But they're human. Yeah, the people that I've had run-ins with in the church, they're human. They've made mistakes. That's cool. So have I. We all have, folks. That's the reality. But yeah, so indeed, little babies are asleep now. They're ready to feed. I've got to feed the mum, so I'll leave this video here. It's good length for time. 27 minutes. Oh, geez. And we did go off onto a new subject again. There you go. You take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon.